guys, Jacob here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some more leaks for Year 3. Someone actually sent this to me in my inbox on Discord, and originally I thought this was just a copy and paste link from a while back about the new Manhunt, about Natalia Sokolova and a few other things, but I looked a little bit more into it, and this is way different than what I thought it was. This is talking about the main campaign, new game mode, and PvP balance changes, and a few other things as well. For one, I already knew we were going to be getting a new game mode, which everyone knows we're going to be getting a new game mode. They just haven't really said what game mode we're going to be getting, but this gives us a little more of an idea of what this might be. Keep this in mind, these are all leaks or speculation on Reddit. Only reason I know about this is because someone sent this to me, and I pretty much copy and pasted the link into my Xbox search bar, and it didn't work the first time, so I had to physically type it, and now I have the link in here for you guys, and it took me straight to Reddit, and we're going to get right into it. First, if you guys are new, welcome to the channel. I upload daily YouTube content onto like build videos, vendor resets, and overall news on the game like this. Also, shout out to Zurgent's YouTube, or YT, or Zurgent's in general, who is the person who submitted this, so make sure you guys come look at this post on Reddit, which I'll link it in the description. But this is where this post was, and it talks about the new stuff. To get right into it, this is going to be the new DLC Manhunt, which, keep this in mind, we already know some of this information, and the more I see it, the more I'm starting to think maybe this might be true, or may just be pure speculation and just thrown out there to mess with us. This says the hunters unite under one leader named Natalia Sokolova, so in other words, they're known as the Russian Death Squads. There are 4 lieutenants that work under Natalia and will be needed defeated in order to find the final location of Natalia Sokolova. The final location for Natalia Sokolova is in Delaware, United States. This is where the final boss fight will occur, but also where the new game mode will be introduced. The 4 lieutenants will have raid-like mechanics, so this will be not another rerun of manhunts like we currently do. They will have white mechanics, puzzles, etc. The first lieutenant goes under the name of Vika. The second lieutenant is known as Liza Veda. The third lieutenant is known as Losha, and the fourth lieutenant is known as Nikta. The only information we have on Natalia is that she is a close combat operative and uses the new exotic SMG, the Rozik, that will also be obtained by defeating her and obtaining a quest called Natalia's Yashik, which I can't pronounce. The quest has 4 stages to it and will require specific pieces of gear and weapons to create the blueprint. The drop rate of this gun is 1% from Natalia herself once the quest line is completed. Now, to talk about the new Manhunt real quick, we already knew this was supposed to be 4 hunters we're going to be going after, and supposedly they drop a mask and a unique backpack trophy, but now we kind of have an idea of where this might be. Originally, I thought this was going to be somewhere in New York. They're just going to fill in the gaps and put something new there, but apparently this is going to be in Delaware, United States, which I think this is right here in this area. I could be wrong, but you can see New York is right above, but I'm pretty sure this is where it's at. I could be wrong. Please let me know in the comment section below if this is the location you guys can see right here on the map. So keep that in mind. Now the next thing is going to be the Rozik Exotic SMG, which I'm probably butchering that name. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce that. The exotic equivalent of the P90, which we already have one P90 in the game that's an exotic. That is the Chatterbox, which I think this will be way better than the Chatterbox. Damage to targets out of cover is the last attribute on the gun, so we know so far. Then the mods are 10% critical hit chance on the scope, 15% critical hit damage on the muzzle, and the default magazine of 50 rounds, which this gun alone has the same attachments as the Eagle Bear. The only difference is this is a P90, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be no grip on this. It's only probably going to have, obviously, the 3 attachments you guys see here. This is the Talent Pozzolini, which I can't really pronounce, sorry about that. Critical hits apply a debuff, which increases your damage to affected targets by 2% per stack of debuff applied. Up to 30 stacks can be applied to one single target. If the affected target dies, the stacks will convert into 0.5% bonus armor per stack, which lasts 10 seconds and is refreshed per kill. So, up to 30 stacks is pretty crazy, which critical hits apply a debuff, which increases your damage. So that's pretty interesting. Now, we're going to get a little bit more in here. I guess is about the DZ questline. Once you've completed, or the DLC questline, complete the main DLC questline, you'll receive a project called, I'm not going to pronounce that because I'm going to butcher it, which translates to Be the Hunter. All you have to do is go to a specific location in Delaware where you initially defeated Natalia, and you'll be able to get a hunter-like glitch on your screen. You'll have to shoot 5 lights surrounding the area, and the hunter will spawn. The hunter has a question mark on its head, and once you defeat it, you unlock a new skill. This skill is called Smoke Trap. The Smoke Trap activates once a friendly agent steps onto it, and you might have guessed, it hides your nameplate and creates a smoke in the area, which is non-lethal. So this is kind of like the decoy if this Smoke Trap is true. Keep all in mind, keep in mind if any of this is true. This is the smoke trap that kind of the hunters use for EMPs that will get rid of your nameplate, and which is non-lethal. Once you've unlocked this skill, you'll be invited to a matchmake in the latest game mode, Be the Hunter. This game mode consists of 12 players, 10 of which are automatically division agents. The other 2 agents will become hunters. This is completely down to RNG. The hunters have to work on killing the Division 2 agents, where the Division 2 agents need to collect samples and extract them, similar to survival, but this time you'll get the opportunity to become the hunter. Pretty damn cool. The hunters have 6 skills. Can use players may choose any of the skills they want before the game starts. By default, hunters will have 5 million armor and 1 million health. Skill tier 6, or 3, my bad, for each skill tier, and can upgrade their skills to higher skill tiers when they defeat an agent and full kill them. Hunters can full kill an agent by downing them and then holding their melee bind to use their axe. Hunters can also gain movement speed when they use the new smoke trap, so this should be something every agent selects when the player becomes the hunters. The hunters also, by default, have doubled the status advantage when using EMP skills, which is really cool. Division 2 agents can use any loadout they want, but be aware of using skills without any hazard, and the hunters can EMP for long durations. The Division's agents will have the armor they use on their build by choice, but cannot change builds once selected. You're always in combat when in the game mode and cannot change any items, even piece by piece. The goal is to find 5 samples, which are called, not going to pronounce that, otherwise known as green cure. While obtaining these, you will come across operatives that roam in the streets that will notify the hunters of your whereabouts, so you can play stealthy or go full out guns blazing once you've extracted, which is when the helicopter arrives. You will have to load your samples into the helicopter, but the helicopter leaving doesn't mean you win. 10 people can fit on the helicopter, so you will either defeat the hunters or make it to one of 2 exits once you exit, which will probably be defended by a hunter that you'll have to end up killing or not. You finish the game mode, and each player is rewarded by XP and BTH crates. BTH crates will give players items and BTH credits that can be used as a credit to the shop on the new weekly vendor. So, sorry that was all a lot, and I know I messed up a few times, but overall, this is going to be a game mode where you guys are going to become the hunter, and the hunters have 6 skills they can use, which is pretty crazy. 5 million armor, 1 million health, and skill tier 3 for each skill, and they can upgrade by killing agents. So to me, this is really cool if this is the case, and this does happen to the fact, because for one, you can have 2 hunters tracking down agents while the other agents can hide or be stealthy or go full guns blazing, just wing it and try to see if they can survive. But there's been times where I've snuck past NPCs and also other players, so maybe this would be potential that, you can actually hide from the hunters. But there's also the fact, too, that maybe they might use a pulse and just find you just like that. The fact there is no conceal in this game like there was in Division 1, so you can't really hide that well. But maybe if you just stay low and maybe the hunter doesn't have a pulse. So say they used a smoke trap and they're using something else. Maybe they just don't hit that when you're in the area looking for you, and maybe you can just sneak past them when they're not looking. But I guess the less noise you make, the more high of an advantage you might have and be able to get through these. Also, it says you can extract as well and get out from the 2 exits, but a hunter may be defending it, so you might have to kill that hunter, which that hunter is a player. It's not just an NPC you can, cheese. That's a person who is thinking the same way you are, or maybe way different, thinking how they can kill you, how they can trap you in a certain area, or maybe just make it where they're going to shock you with a shock trap and you can't move and just finish you off. There's also the BTH credits, which I'm guessing is a new shop for the new weekly vendor. I think this is going to be very similar to the premium credits from Division 1. Then we have the new gear sets, which this is the Haste and Hardy and the Zash. I'm just going to call it that because I'm not going to try pronouncing that. Haste and Hardy, which is 25% skill haste, 30% explosive damage, and come and get some. Explosive damage will convert into bonus armor for you and your allies. You will gain up to 50% of your armor as bonus armor to your teammates that are within 15 meters of the explosion. Cooldown is 5 seconds. The brand said Zash, which is explosive damage, damage to armor, and damage to health for the 1-piece, 8-piece, and 3-piece. Now, here's some of the PvP changes that a lot of you guys are probably going to be a little bit mad about. I know some people are already mad about them because I've gotten multiple messages, people reading about this already. PvP balance changes if you're interested. Crusader / Fireball Shield disabled in PvP due to players being able to do large amounts of damage behind a shield, as well as having the ability to corner glitch with half shields. This is where you scope through your weapon while utilizing the shield, preventing players from shooting you behind the wall while you can shoot them. So this has been a little bit of an issue in the Dark Zone lately. This is why I went back to Division 1 Dark Zone, which you guys will see some footage soon on. I mean, my friends just messing around in there. But people were pretty much just hiding from cover, shooting you, but you couldn't shoot them, and the only way you could get them is if you got close enough when they're in that cover. But it was very annoying, so I'm glad that they're going to be fixing this. But it's a little crazy that they're just flat out, if this is true, if they're just going to disable the Crusader and the Firewall Shield just flat out, this is not the first time they disabled something in PvP, like the Firewall, med kit where it breaks. But if they get rid of this and just, in general, that's going to be like no specialization ammo, no Firewall med kit, and that's just going to add to it. But I was kind of hoping maybe they'd find an alternative to this and fix it, but I guess disabling it works too. It's whatever. It is what it is. I don't really use shields, but people who do use shields are going to be a little bit unhappy about this. Bulwark Shield. Increased damage modifier to shield to 6. So you're going to probably be seeing a lot more Bulwark builds in the DZ if this is the case. Regulus damage and Liberty damage have been decreased by 20 and 10%. LMG and Rifle have been increased by 10 and 20%. The Riot Foam duration went from 2 to 1 second. We believe players should have a high skill tier to be able to foam efficiently, and isn't fair to be able to foam someone for a total of 2 seconds without any additional skill tier. Skill tier damage duration scaling reduced by 30%. We always wanted players to explore new methods of using skills, but it has come to our attention that skills are overused due to the fact that they can distribute large amounts of damage instantly and over time, while disabling players from moving normally and firing their weapon. Medkits have been increased to 6. PvP is all about survivability, and you want to increase the number of medkits players receive, as the chances of finding medkits when rogue are slim. And now this is going to be another one I know all you guys are going to be mad about. If this is true, keep this in mind. In sync talent weapon removed. This weapon talent provided too much in a short space of time, and for that reason made other talents feel useless in PvP. Now this one, I don't know if I really agree with any of this stuff, or them removing stuff just all in general. I think it's kind of cheesy and a little. I only think they should remove something if it's absolutely broken. I feel like there are other things in this game that need to be fixed. And in sync, I feel like what they could have done is just nerfed it and made it 10% or something instead of just getting rid of it altogether. But it is what it is. Nemesis damage reduced by 30%. This is to prevent players from body shotting at high armor and killing players in a single shot. This one is kind of weird to me because I kind of feel like the Nemesis is supposed to be powerful, and it's a sniper, and it's supposed to like one-tap people or maybe even two-tap. But I don't really use the Nemesis that often, but it's just a little odd. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. Intimidate, reduced from 35% to 30, amplified damage. Hunter Killer, which is perfect. Intimidate, reduced from 40 to 35. And the concussion talent, duration of damage when not using a sniper, increased from 1.5 for 3. And that's seconds, and it says thank you for reading. But overall, that's pretty much the new information we've got from the DLC campaign and changes. This was posted 1 day ago by Zurgence, like I said. So shout out to this user for posting this stuff on Reddit. And I will be posting the link if you guys want to check this out for yourselves in the description below. But overall, if this is the case, there's a few things in here I know will make a few people mad, but I'm mostly excited for the game mode. If this is going to be released, if it's not, that sucks, but hopefully they release some kind of game mode. But overall, this is the second time we've heard about Natalia Sokolova, and if they are giving us a new area, I'm guessing it's going to be a kind of smaller area, not a very huge area. Maybe that's why they chose Delaware. I'm not exactly sure how big Delaware is, but maybe instead of giving us a whole new area, like maybe like Brooklyn or something, or extending New York, maybe they just decided to pick something like a small area and put a mini game mode in there, or maybe just give it some kind of mini DLC. Maybe they'll throw the hunters all over New York City and DC and have us track them down. And when you kill all of them, sorry, I cannot speak, then it'll take you back to Delaware, which is a mini area, kind of like the West Side Pier, which I've talked about multiple times. I could see them doing this. I feel like the West Side Pier area was pretty big, so I feel like they could make Delaware, maybe obviously not this big, but make it half the size of this and make it a little bit more and have an area, and I feel like that would work perfectly. And also I feel like that, personally, West Side Pier would be big enough, I think, for a mini game mode. Maybe not a full-on game mode, but if they made the map a little bit bigger and had it this area, I feel like this really could work, but we'll just have to wait and see. And as for the exotic SMG, I'm really excited to see how this works and I'm really curious about the whole hunters, because they're not just going to be hunters what we go and just kill. They're supposed to have raid-like mechanics, or they're supposed to be lieutenants. I don't even know if they're going to be hunters. People have just said they're going to be hunters, which I feel like they would be, because it just makes a lot more sense. But even if they're not, I feel like this is going to be really cool if they give us some kind of raid tile mechanics with, you know, PvPs or PvE mechanics like Iron Horse. And there are wipe mechanics, it says, so this may be a little challenging if you guys are doing this on a certain difficulty, and maybe give a little bit more something to do in the game instead of, oh, I'm just going to kill this guy and be done with it. It'll actually require you to have put some work into it and kill his target, and maybe a little bit of a pain to kill him. But who really knows at this point? But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this post. If you think it's true, I'm kind of 50-50 on leaks and stuff like this, but we'll just have to wait and see, maybe around June or July, maybe around E3 if they give us more stuff. But as usual, thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more Division 2 content, and I'll